the nostalgia critic guy, remember it? So you don't have to. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but Kenan Thompson is my favorite SNL cast member. That's not to say there aren't other cast members I think are more talented or lend themselves to other avenues, but a lot of those avenues also lead to a lot of duds. That's just part of the business. Kenan seems particularly comfortable with where he is though, and says he has no plans of leaving anytime soon. But you know what, if you're good at something, why stop doing it?
The new iPhone wants your thumbprint for your protection.
I don't think so. That's how they get you.
Yes! Yes!
He has an amazing talent, for me anyway, of making almost anything sound funny.
So you left her, and then you married her, and now y'all both here together.
The heart wants what it wants, Steve.
That ain't the heart, player.
There's that old cliche of being so funny you can make the phone book sound humorous, and this is the only SNL member I think could actually do that. Well, him and Christopher Walken. Yeah, I guess I find people who have a distinct way of talking pretty funny.
I'm your host, Reese the what? We out of time. Man, hey, come on now. That costs money.
He doesn't even do that many characters. He just has a way of delivering lines and knowing the exact syllable to emphasize, slow down, or speed up in order to get a laugh. And it's rare to be tapped into that this consistently.
Baseball. Do you like basketball and football, but they too fun and fast? Try baseball.
And that's not to say there haven't been attempts to do other things with his talents. He has been in other shows and movies and even had an attempt at sitcom, but most of them, for whatever reason, didn't have the same magic as SNL. And one of those films people have wanted me to look over for years, for better or worse, is Fat Albert. Based on the 70s cartoon, the 2004 movie didn't exactly get the warmest of responses. Both critics and audiences seem to dislike it, but to its credit, a lot of folks do remember it. There's been a lot of cartoon adaptations over the years that people forget even happened. But so many folks have asked me to review this movie that you have to at least acknowledge it did leave an impression. The same way I guess a giant ass leaves an impression on a couch. But is there a kitsch charm to that impression, or is it mostly just ass? Well, let's take a closer look. 20 years after its release, and only 3 years after his release, let's take a look at Fat Albert. Alright, so first off, I'll give a heads up. I've seen a little bit of the cartoon growing up, but I'm not an expert on it. I don't know most of the characters' names, but I do know enough to know that the Animaniacs parody of it is pretty funny.
We prefer to preach pro-social values till they spew out everyone's ears and all over the ground.
So I'm not gonna be able to compare it too much to the show, but I do know I'm currently looking at over 5 drawings done for the animation, so this already feels a little off. Don't worry though, it doesn't last long. They make it look like the whole opening credits is gonna be this animation, but it's only 30 seconds. And let's be honest, it looks like they put the budget of an entire season into that 30 seconds.
You're going to that party with me. I don't think so.
We cut to the real world where we're introduced to a girl named Doris, played by Kyla Pratt, who doesn't seem to fit in.
You go with me, right, Doris?
I wasn't invited.
Oh, I see. Her and Fat Albert are gonna switch places and we're gonna see what her life is like as a cartoon. I'm not too far off as she spends time with very few friends and just watches.
Who wants to play?
Oh no, no.
Okay, seriously, I'm expecting Princess Tiana to walk by. This is way too well animated. Right now, the animators of the original show are looking at this like, whoa, you got more than bison dollars for your budget? Doris's tear falls on the remote. Because in family films, the more sad the tear, the more satanic the results. And suddenly, the cartoon characters can hear her.
Hey, what is that thing? It's a girl.
And whatever she said to the cinematographer, man, did he get his revenge. Fat Albert sees she's sad, and so he goes into the real world to help her, with the others following in step.
Oh my. Look at us.
Wow, we look like a bad SNL sketch.
So you mean a current SNL sketch?
Yeah, right down to Kenan Thompson being the only one trying to save it. And okay, you wanna know why I'm weirdly so against the animation being so good in this? Because it makes jokes like this not work.
Ah! Don't you guys make noise when you enter a room?
I never thought about it. We just enter.
Not on that show. You got like Space Jam backgrounds on that show. You're like the animation in that Walmart Grinch commercial. You look great, but you just don't belong in something this bad.
Where's our show?
It's over.
The show ends and they find they can't go back into the TV until another episode runs the following day.
Pardon me, miss.
My name is Doris.
I know a dog named Doris.
Wow, you really thought there was gonna be thunderous laughter there, didn't you? I think the only thing you would hear from the theater is...
I know a dog named Doris.
That sucked. They decide to stay with Doris, and they follow her wherever she goes.
What are you talking into?
You guys yanking my chain?
I didn't even know you had a chain.
Me too.
But Keenan, I never thought I'd say this, but you had better writing with Good Burger.
I have some visitors, and I didn't think you mind if they audited the class.
Come on, find a seat.
I don't think any school works like this, but I'll allow it for shenanigans.
What's that on your head?
It's my hat.
Please
Why don't you take it off?
I have no face.
And 11.
Okay, 15 minutes in and we finally got a laugh. Man, it's like searching for Waldo. I finally found one!
We're here because Doris has a problem. Yes, she doesn't have any friends, so we came here to tell everybody to be her friend.
So it's hard to say Keenan is bad as Fat Albert, but it's hard to say he's good as him either. I can't imagine doing an entire performance with that voice, and honestly, it sounds like he blew it out practicing it before they even started rolling.
Isn't it the person who matters and not how they look? You know, she blew in my eye. Hey, Danielle, you can't quit school and run away.
It'd be like if Andy Serkis didn't take care of his voice while doing Gollum and it sounded like...
All right, kids, power up.
What is this?
Ah, okay. Here starts the bad computer Oh, we're done?
Look, I don't have friends because I don't want friends.
I don't know what to think of that. On the one hand, the jokes haven't been funny, so I doubt they'd be funny here, but it does seem a bit odd giving up before the routine even starts. At least show how much runtime you saved us, so we can give a discreet yet audible golf clap. Albert grows an immediate attraction to Doris's foster sister, Lori. And if you're thinking, man, isn't he a little old to be dating someone that young? Fear not, none of these people are in high school.
Wait, don't rub it.
She blew in his eye.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I know you don't know. Guys.
Not sense. Nah, it's not worth a comparison, it's just dumb. Hey, if they can abandon routines, why can't I?
And there's no way I'm letting that fat kid get over on Lori.
Lori's maybe boyfriend Reggie, played by Omar Ryan, feels threatened, so he challenges Albert to a race. Pff, how forced. Was this a Filmation cartoon? Yeah, okay, it kind of tracks.
Go!
And now my impression of the green screening from Ghost Rider. Honestly, this effect is so ridiculous, it does make me laugh a little bit, as he ends up winning and naturally tries to teach a lesson afterwards.
Even though you came in second place, it doesn't mean you're not a winner too.
Fat man. Fat.
I do wish this is one of those PG movies where they could get away with saying the F word once.
Fat man. Fat.
Then there's this. Hey, I'm having a stroke. A lot of people say this whole movie is just a big commercial for Fat Albert, but I disagree. Because the film literally plans out a section to literally be a commercial for Fat Albert.
See? That's who we are.
Corporate shills. Seriously, the whole cast has a look like... Oh man, we don't want to be that scene where Cat in the Hat promotes Universal Studios, but we're totally that scene where Cat in the Hat promotes Universal Studios.
Those are the most popular girls in school. We gotta get them to be friends with Doris.
They try not to get distracted from their original goal of getting Doris some friends. They manage to get her invited to a party, but Doris says she needs some new clothes first.
We have to go to the mall.
What's the mall?
Ah, these kids from the past are asking questions kids in the present would ask.
What did he just say? You watch your mouth.
Let's go next door. I heard Beethoven discovered synthesizers.
Hey, you. If you're looking to buy, I'm your guy. And for talking to me, you get a hat for free.
We finally found the guy Carlton would beat up. They do a clothing montage because they think we've never seen a movie before, and then jump rope in a mall. I don't know, it's Fat Albert. I can't pretend I'd come up with something more interesting either.
You guys see the picture me and Mushmouth took? I think we lost some color.
Pictures aren't real.
Neither are we.
We aren't real, and I think we're fading.
Okay, how do we go from jump rope to existential crisis in a minute? Hey, God is dead.
Doris, you look great. People are gonna notice.
Doris gets dressed up and they head to the party.
Can I get you a soda or something?
You're so sweet. But you just got me a soda.
And from the positioning of that light, you might have something else for her too.
What's up, man? Nice hat.
Now we both look like we should be in a stoner van solving mysteries.
Come on up here and say a few words to the crowd. Fat Albert.
Reggie tries to humiliate Albert, but of course, He wins over the crowd with, you guessed it, a rap version of his theme song.
They call me Fat Albert, that's my name, and solving problems is my game.
I'm not sure it's a good sign when dancing turtles, CG dogs, and Wayans in drag would fit too well in this scenario. Okay, how did they do that joke 10 times better than a movie that literally had Porky Pig in it? But Reggie's revenge isn't done yet.
Hey, sweet thing. Wanna dance?
Why, yes, I would. Oh, the girl, yeah. Maybe that Fred kid with the ascot is available.
Reggie, no. Please, Reggie.
Reggie tries to move too fast on her, though, and he turns on her, causing the gang to step in.
Stay away from her. Or you're gonna have to deal with me.
Well, that's it. Slender Man and that are the two things I never want to turn around to. Well, Albert better tend to Doris. It's his sister, naturally.
But you should be walking on this side of the street. The gentleman should walk on the side with the traffic. That way, if a car, like, splashes mud, he can push the woman out of the way.
This doesn't feel like writing as much as sentences. We're just listening to sentences. Either jokes don't work or they just forget to even put jokes in. It's so bizarre.
I had no business going to that party. I should have never listened to Albert in the
What is
class.
with you? Ever since your grandpa passed away, you're not the same.
Could the cause be your grandpa passing away?
Why don't we invite him to the track meet on Saturday?
The fewer people who see me run, the better.
You've got to start believing in yourself. You used to be one of the fastest runners on the team.
Just pretend they're offering a sequel to this movie and you'll get your running legs right back. The next day, Doris wants to keep her distance from the gang as she was uncomfortable at the party.
You look a little pale. A little washed out.
How can you tell? Your colors are like Care Bears in the Barbie movie. Even faded, you're still pretty blinding. They decide to hang in the park before they meet up with Doris to get back into the show.
Ba-ba-ba-loomba. Ba-ba-loomba.
I do like the scene where a kid teaches Mushmouth how to say balloon and then suddenly he's the most articulate person alive.
Madam, it has been my extreme pleasure talking with your daughter. She taught me how to say balloon.
Well, I'm very happy for you.
I'm gonna see if you're on a list, cause you're on a list. Actually, everyone starts to act different as their flaws suddenly start to become fixed in the real world.
I bet I feel even smarter without this dumb-looking hat.
Oh, you got a nice face.
Okay, so on the one hand, I do like that this actor is allowed to show his face, but on the other hand, there need to be something funnier than that. Seriously, we needed like a... Their colors are noticeably fading and they try to figure out what to do.
We're not just losing our color. Look at my hand. I can see through it. It's fading away.
It's like if Jordan Peele directed Back to the Future. They make their way back to Doris's place where they find the bullies on the show are trying to take over. And as much as that face reveal wasn't funny in the real world, they do make up for it in the animated world.
Where's your face, man? What happened to his face?
You're clearly in the wrong cheap animated series! Reggie sees them go into the cartoon though, just as Albert decides he doesn't want to go because he wants to be with Lori and also still wants to help Doris. Well, that's a cock-teased speedy ending. How much more film is there? Don't for shit's sake! I feel like Happy Gilmore. Just go home! Just go home! Are you too good for your home?
We've got to ride to the fair in style.
They decide to go to a fair and make a car out of garbage because the junkyard exists in both realities, I guess. I don't know. But to their credit, I do like a lot of the creativity around this thing. I love not only the look of it, but how the two guys inside seem to operate all of it.
Thanks for winning this for me.
Hey, anytime, any day.
They make their way to the fair where Rudy finally starts to put the moves on Doris.
Would you go out with me?
You mean like on a date?
Yeah,
But we are on a date.
that's right.
Is it me or like half the lines just saying what's happening in the movie? Did we leave the audio descriptions on?
You're Fat Albert.
I kind of love after all this time, only one kid recognizes him as Fat Albert. Almost like even the movie is saying, yeah, nobody remembers who this is.
These bad kids keep chasing Russell. He needs you.
He says horrible things are happening on the show as the bullies are trying to take over. So Albert goes to the one person you immediately think of when you hear the words, horrible things.
Wait till you get to the top of the stairs, then they knock.
Prepare for bad taste jokes. Preparing for bad taste jokes. Bad taste jokes. Bad taste jokes, sir.
Who is it?
How many times have I told you I'm not appearing on Chris Hansen?
I'm Fat Albert.
Hey, taste of your own medicine. How far should I go with this?
My boy, how did you get into this predicament?
If there's anyone who should be asked that question,
I heard her crying.
Who's you heard?
Doris Robertson.
For the love of God, don't tell him any more about her.
Doris Robertson. You know where they live?
Stop movie! The rating for this is gonna shoot right up! And so is something else for that matter!
Come, Pinky. Let us return to the story.
Alright. So it's revealed that Albert is actually based on Doris's grandfather who passed away. Which, okay, is a touch inventive. There's an idea in there. He's told, though, he has to go back into the show.
Your fans are waiting to see you on TV.
Yeah, all one of them.
No, I want to stay here in the real world.
You can't stay out here.
Something Cosby is told on a daily basis. I'm sorry, I don't know why the worst of him brings out the best of me. Albert tries telling Laurie that he's a cartoon and needs to return to his show. Weirdly, though, she doesn't believe him.
It's almost funny. Every time someone says they care about me, they wind up leaving me.
You're just like that FUD guy who said he wanted to return to animals in drag. Doris tries to tell her what he said was true, but she doesn't believe her either, and she just goes to sleep. Yeah, dude, track tomorrow. That's far more important. I'm sorry, how is this film still going? There's been like 3 times it could wrap up, and somehow they turned into more of an excuse to punish us. Case in point, everyone does decide to finally go back into the show, but Albert, again, decides he can't go.
It's time for Doris to believe in herself again.
And it's time for you to believe that 80 minutes is a perfectly acceptable running time. Doris runs in track, and Albert, of course, encourages her to believe in herself, and of course, she wins.
You did it! No, we did it! Oh, come on, we gotta go.
I'm weirdly not out of breath in the slightest.
So we meet again.
She tries to get him back into the show, but Reggie attempts to stop him.
Get out of our way.
Okay.
See, that wrapped up quick. Why couldn't all the conflicts be like that? They use a skateboard to get him back, because I'm totally convinced this was written in 1990, and they make it back in time.
Fat Albert! Harry, the show's almost over. We need you.
How could this be?
Magic tear, duh! He says goodbye to Laurie, and Doris finally puts together who he reminds her of.
You remind me of my grandpa.
Hey. That's a nice thing to say. I love you, Doris.
Love you too.
Feel like we could have explored a lot more of that, but, you know, malls, jump rope, whatever the hell this was. This was mostly a waste of time. He goes back into the same repeated animation as before, which is the one thing I'm positive the original Fat Albert would do. And in a kind of cool scene, we see the people who inspired the characters while they're at the grave of the original man who inspired Fat Albert. It'd be really touching if I wasn't thinking of someone else who was really touching. Oh, Albert, I hope I made you... It's probably good that you're dead. And that was Fat Albert. It's bad, and it's exactly the kind of bad you'd think it is. Granted, I've seen far, far worse, and I will say the cast, particularly Albert's gang, are giving it their all. I never feel like they're sleepwalking through any of it. They're really trying to capture the essence, charm, and energy of these characters. But the writing just isn't there to support it. It feels long despite it not being a particularly long running time. The jokes meander, and there's a ton of moments that can be cut out. I don't think I'm gonna miss much if you took out Rudy dating Doris, or Reggie getting revenge, or any of those moments where it looked like the film was gonna wrap up. I can't say it's super irritating, but for all the work these actors are clearly putting into it, they deserve something more than this. I'm a nostalgia critic, I remember it so you don't have to.
Doris Robertson. You know where they live?